Did you know if you drop a like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds, nothing will happen but it will put a giant smile on my face? Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 2 is about to see its mid-season update, with us being 34% way through the season's completion right now with around 50 days remaining, as version 20.20 has just recently been put onto the staging servers, meaning it's releasing early next week when you're watching this video, with us knowing there's only 4 downtime updates this season as we've progressed through that halfway mark in terms of updates. Of course, things are starting to get interesting now in terms of the live event developments, the storyline, and as you can see by the title and thumbnail, everything to do with Miles Morales appearing in Fortnite very soon, and just generally everything to do with the next update discussed in this video. I already know that sounds good to the majority of you, so do yourself a favour today, sit back, relax, grab your favourite snacks to stick around and watch the full video. It will only take up around 600 seconds or 10 minutes of your time. And whilst you're doing that, perhaps, or the next time you log into Fortnite, considering it's 100% free to do, please consider entering code FM1 inside the Fortnite item shop. Entering this code not only puts a giant smile on my face, but also cheers up my pug Gus, as he's been kinda sad about the fact he knows 70% of you watching right now are not subscribed. So if you hit the big red button right now, you will help us on our final push to 2.5 million subs, as we've just reached 2.4 million right now, so get clicking. After all, this only benefits you too, considering I give different subscribers every single day who are simply, yes, subscribed to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment their Epic Games ID down below and potentially what they'd like to receive. So yeah, that could be you gifted in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the very next video on the channel. But with that said, now enough messing around, we need to dive into everything 20.20 and how Klombos are officially going to be returning to the Fortnite island, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
Okay, so first and foremost, in terms of the update itself, when it's going to be happening, considering when something's put onto the staging servers as discussed at the start of the video or briefly mentioned, that means it's releasing next week. So with it being put onto the staging servers this week, many of you may be wondering what exact day next week are we going to be seeing 20.20. However, from asking the same data miner that also revealed all the updates this season going up to 20.40 and said that 20.20 is on the staging servers, Sheena, I asked him in the DMs when is it most likely going to be happening, is it going to be Tuesday? And he was like, yeah, it's looking like it's going to be Tuesday. And don't forget too, if this doesn't land on the day when Prowler can be unlocked for the first time, this doesn't need to be the day. Epic Games proved last season with the Foundation, despite the update not being, well, on the same day as the Foundation being available to unlock for the first time or get any of the cosmetics, that they could simply hotfix this into the game literally without a downtime update and just having a content update occur in the background when we log on. Speaking of the power of hotfixes, you guys will have seen at the Daily Bugle there is no longer a blimp above this name location, as the mini live event that was occurring between the 7 taking over this location from the Imagined Order, pushing them back further in terms of the vicinity they control of the island. Of course, yes, as previously mentioned, this was done in a hotfix, this map change, with them also implementing the funding stations for both the armoured battle bus and the turrets at the same time of what would be a weapon on it. This has now been fully completed, as you can see from, well, landing here in game. And despite the Daily Bugle mini live event where we team up with the 7 to push back the Imagined Order to take back the named location itself, this isn't the last one. Of course, according to Hypex right here, he stated, here are the POIs that we'll have to reclaim in order: Daily Bugle, which had already been completed, and then Coney Crossroads, which is happening in 20.20 when that arrives, and then furthermore after that, Condo Canyon and Rocky Reels, of which all have blimps above them, so I'm guessing despite them not being on the outskirts of the island itself, so they may not crash into the water, it's looking like these giant things could be crashing into the island, creating even bigger or further map changes to these areas. Speaking of events happening right now before 20.20, if you didn't already know from it being made obvious in the item shop, that Coachella are collaborating with Fortnite through the first wave of skins being implemented, and that's a key point to make right there, as that suggests there's going to be more. And how we know this is the first wave is, according to Fortnite's Twitter, they stated this would be the case not only here, but in the article they attached disclosing everything to do with the full Fortnite X Coachella event. And speaking of this article in itself, it not only further reveals the other skins that we're going to be seeing rotate throughout here, of which is this male and female skin coming along with everything else that basically comes with each of these two outfit sets. And based off the look of these, if you like them, if you're wondering when they come into the item shop, of course, first of all, make sure to be using code FM1 when you pick anything up. But then, in terms of when this second wave does rotate throughout the item shop, it will be Thursday, April 21st, 2022. And oh yeah, just something brief to touch upon, if you haven't played Fortnite in the recent days anyways, wait until the mid-season update releases being 20.20. As you can see from the footage in the background right now, jetpacks are not only available on blimps to obtain randomly, but you can purchase them from any of the following NPCs that FireMonkey states on screen. And in favour of the Easter festivities or event in real life anyways, they've re-implemented the egg launcher, and speaking of eggs but not in the eliminating form, rather so healing us as a consumable, these can be found around the island just like we would find anything such as, yeah, mushrooms, apples, you name it, or anything out of these boxes. As we've briefly touched on the date, April 21st, for when the second wave of cosmetics or skins or even just the bundle overall is rotating throughout the item shop to do with the collaboration with Coachella. As this is a Thursday and a possible date for an update, it kind of suggests with these skins not already being in the game's files that the update will have happened previously before then, as on this date too, FireMonkey had this to say about a brand new Zero build Duos Cup starting on the exact same date. With this kind of eliminating the possibility of update day being this Thursday, that then leaves most likely anyways, as previously discussed, either Tuesday or even Wednesday for 20.20 to be going down on. And with it not mattering about when Prowler's Cosmetics release to do with this update dropping on the same day, this does release, as you can see from the coming soon section, currently in 6 days time from the 15th when I'm recording this video, again being the 21st also again. But speaking of Prowler, it's kind of weird considering this is the first coming soon skin that we've seen that doesn't have 2 pages of cosmetics that we can unlock. Obviously the second page, like with the foundation, being mysteries until, well, update day itself or when they were hotfixed into the game available. I highly doubt, considering there isn't a second page already on here, that Prowler will have any more cosmetics despite all the ones you're seeing on screen right now unlocked in an early form of showcase anyways or reward screen. Speaking of Prowler too, it wouldn't surprise me in the 20.20 update when downtime actually drops that we see Miles Morales contained in the files as an upcoming skin. As for those that don't know, and the reason why the Daily Bugle possibly is still standing after this war went on between the Imagined Order and Seven in mini live event form over here, is because Prowler is Miles Morales' uncle in this particular Spider-Man universe. With us also knowing that Epic Games said they're going to be releasing throughout many seasons many more characters from the Spider-Verse or Spider-Man's universes in the Marvel franchise. With Prowler being integrated as first shown in the Chapter 3 Season 2 trailer itself, this would be the perfect time for Miles Morales to make an appearance in Fortnite. Speaking of Fortnite x Marvel, and more specifically new variants of Spider-Man and how we know more are going to be coming, is because what's been leaked over on Twitter now by data miners and people in the community that have established reputations is firstly the Spider-Man 2099 comic, and as you can see it's a different variant of Spider-Man than we currently have seen in the Fortnite universe. I don't believe this has anything to do with the Fortnite x Marvel Zero War comics, but speaking of these comic books in themselves, despite other cover artworks being leaked for them today being currently on screen, we have some more interesting information as to the free reward codes that will come attached with each issue of the Fortnite Zero War comics themselves. Firstly, starting out with number 1, as you can see, FireMonkey stated will be an outfit, number 2 being a wrap, number 3 being a pickaxe, number 4 being a spray, number 5 being a loading screen, and then from redeeming all 5 of those we'll get a bonus outfit. Of course, these comic books are very interesting as more artwork got leaked previously, kind of teasing that this season's live event is going to be completely huge, from not only reflecting the speculation put in game as kind of props or map changes to do with the final Showdown V2 potentially happening, as we literally see it on this comic book page right here, but also even potentially teasing the return of Galactus, as the origin was seen with Spider-Man here on this page, and of course at the end of the Galactus event itself we don't know where he went to. Either way, of course, again from reflecting on the stages of how the Seven are going to be gradually pushing back the Imagined Order to their base of operations set up primarily on the map being now Command Cavern from once was Covert Cavern last season, developed off of slightly. I'm just going to call it right now, whatever they're drilling to in Command Cavern itself or what they're going to come across or find, maybe their last straw to pull or secret weapon in the fight once they're pushed back with their backs against the wall at their base of operations being this named location, which could potentially be, well, the live event itself. Speaking of such outcome, however, of course we're expecting Klombos to return not only this season but very soon, based off the fact that they're currently just mounds like they previously were in Chapter 3 Season 1 before they were updated onto the map initially as wildlife. Of course these were removed as wildlife initially because of the war between the Imagined Order and the Seven, as Epic Games realistically wanted to protect them as wildlife being completely huge. As we know from such tweet as the following, where they said if anybody's to harm the Klombos they'll have to wipe out the entirety of Tilted, and of course they'd be in everybody's line of fire or in the way in this war of the Imagined Order versus the Seven and may potentially get harmed. Because of this, and with them conveniently going into hibernation underneath the snows we can see at these 3 locations, of which gets us XP from visiting all of them, perhaps these aren't the only areas of which Klombos are located, and maybe some of them have been captured by the Imagined Order put into these vaults. Honestly, nothing with Fortnite would surprise me at this point if they came out even with a Klombo looking like this, fully armoured up and basically taken control of by the Imagined Order. And of course, if this this is the case too with the imagined order getting things taken off them, such as the tanks. As you can see, we have 1-7 tank at the Daily Bugle. Maybe perhaps that then means that the 7 have got some Klombos on their side, or that they've armoured up themselves to look like this, so that they can potentially counter the Klombos that the imagined order have captured and actually armoured up ready for war that's going to occur. Of course, for more intel on that though, when 20.20 drops, make sure you're subscribing to the channel with all notifications turned on, and drop a like in this video if you want to keep referring back to any of the intel. In terms of other videos or your next destination now, make sure to interact with anything on screen, I don't mind, but most importantly, hopefully I can catch you. Yes, you the individual still watching, I can see you, but hopefully in that very next video I do post on the channel.